Welcome friends, welcome to Bankers Plus Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss external commercial borrowing or ECB. External commercial borrowings are commercial loans raised by eligible resident entities from recognized non-resident entities. In other words, ECB is a loan availed from external sources for commercial purposes by eligible borrowers in India. There are some stipulations regarding the borrowers and lenders. Accordingly, ECB can be availed only by eligible borrowers from eligible non-resident lenders after conforming to certain parameters as decided by Reserve Bank of India from time to time. So in this video, we are going to discuss the important parameters in the new ECB framework, like who are the eligible borrowers, who are the eligible lenders, currency of ECB, all-in cost ceiling, minimum average maturity period, quantum of loan, end users, etc. First of all, ECB can be raised either under automatic route or approval route. What's the difference between automatic route and approval route? Under the approval route, the prospective borrowers are required to send their request for ECB to Reserve Bank of India. And this request is to be forwarded through the AD bank of the applicant. Their applications are to be approved by RBI. Whereas in the case of automatic route, the AD banks themselves are authorized to approve the request of the borrowers without referring to RBI. So that's the difference between automatic route and approval route. Now we will move to the currency of the borrowing. ECB can be availed either in any permitted foreign currency or Indian rupees. So the borrowers have the option of choosing the currency of the borrowing based on their requirements. They are permitted to avail ECB either in foreign currency or Indian rupees. Now let's see who are the eligible borrowers. As per the new ECB framework, all entities eligible to receive foreign direct investment are permitted to avail ECB in foreign currency. Besides, port trusts, units in special economic zones, SIDB and Exim Bank are also eligible to raise ECB in foreign currency. In the case of ECB in Indian rupees, all the entities permitted to avail ECB in foreign currency are eligible. That means the categories of entities mentioned above are all eligible to raise ECB either in foreign currency or INR. And regarding ECB in INR, some more entities are also permitted to raise the loan if it is in Indian rupees. These entities include registered entities engaged in microfinance activities like registered not-for-profit companies, registered societies, trusts, cooperatives and non-government organizations. So now we have seen who are the eligible borrowers for raising ECB under the new framework. Now let's see the eligible lenders. The most important condition regarding eligible lenders is that they should be from a FATF or IOSCO compliant country. FATF means Financial Action Task Force and IOSCO means International Organization of Securities Commission. So the AD banks, before approving the request for ECB or forwarding the same to RBI for approval, have to ensure that the lenders are from a country coming under FATF or IOSCO. ECB can also be availed from multilateral and regional financial institutions where India is a member country. And more importantly, foreign branches or subsidiaries of Indian banks are also recognized as eligible lenders, but only for raising external commercial borrowings in foreign currency. This is an important condition, which means that ECB can be availed by an eligible Indian borrower from the foreign branch of an Indian bank only in foreign currency and not in INR. For example, you can avail ECB from State Bank of India Hong Kong branch or Indian Bank Singapore branch. but the currency of the loan can only be any permitted foreign currency and not Indian rupees. Now we will see the average maturity period for external commercial borrowing. Generally, the MAMP or minimum average maturity period for ECB is 3 years. But for some specified categories, the MAMP ranges from 1 year to 10 years. For example, ECB raised by manufacturing companies up to 50 million US dollars, or its equivalent has a minimum average maturity period of 1 year. Similarly, if the ECB is raised for purpose of repayment of rupee loans availed domestically for other than capital expenditures, the MAMP is 10 years. Likewise, ECB raised by NBFCs for on lending has also MAMP of 10 years. All-in cost ceiling. Next important parameter is the all-in cost ceiling. What's meant by all-in cost ceiling? All-in costs refers to total expenses incurred by the borrower while availing the ECB. It includes rate of interest, other fees, expenses, charges, guarantee fees, etc., which will have to be paid by the borrower while availing ECB. In other words, all-in cost refers the total expenses incurred by the borrower by way of interest on the loan and other charges. As per present RBI guidelines, the maximum all-in cost ceiling is now fixed at the benchmark rate plus 450 basis points. So that is benchmark rate plus 450 basis points. And what do you mean by benchmark rate? The term benchmark rate is applicable both in foreign currency loans and INR loans. The benchmark rate in case of foreign currency loans refers to 6 months LIBOR rate of different currencies. It can also mean any other 6-month interbank interest rate applicable to the currency of borrowing, for example Euribor. But the benchmark rate in case of ECB in Indian rupees means the prevailing yield of the Government of India securities for corresponding maturity of the loan. That means the benchmark rate for ECB in foreign currency and INR are different. For ECB in foreign currency, it's linked to LIBOR or Euribor, etc. Whereas for ECB in INR, benchmark rate is linked to the rate of yield on Government of India securities. Now we will see the permitted end uses. ECB can be used for any purposes other than those included in the negative list. There is a negative list of purposes for which the proceeds of ECB should not be used. It includes, among others, real estate activities, investment in capital markets, and equity investment. AD branches have to ensure that the end users as declared by the borrower is not coming under the negative list before approving any ECB request or forwarding the same to RBI for their approval. Now, the limit for raising ECB. What's the maximum amount that can be raised as ECB by an eligible entity? Under the new ECB framework, all eligible borrowers can raise ECB up to 750 million US dollar or equivalent per financial year under the automatic route. So that's the present guidelines. So these are the important guidelines regarding the new ECB framework in our country. Hope you found this video useful. Thank you.